Okay, so we are taking notes on cell theory. In these notes, you're going to record the definition of what is a scientific theory. You're going to get 3 parts of cell theory. And you're going to get some information about 5 scientists and their contributions to cell theory. Now, to record your notes, you could use lots of different kinds of ways to record notes. You could even just record this stuff on a regular piece of lined paper. It's totally up to you, but make sure that whatever you're doing, you are using your hands and your eyes and your brain to record this information so that you'll remember it. This is the page I'm going to use. You can see that there's 3 sections: the definition of a scientific theory, the 3 parts of cell theory, and a timeline to add in information about the 5 different scientists that contributed to cell theory. If your page doesn't have one of those parts, that's fine. Just add it in. It's no problem. It's just a piece of paper.
So here we are with cell theory notes. In science, a theory is a statement that is testable, it's supported by evidence, and it's used to make predictions. It's used to understand the world. Now, here are the ABCs of cell theory. A, all living things are made of cells, is because all living things are made of cells, and knowing the ABCs of cell theory helps me remember the 3 main parts. B, or part 2, cells are the basic unit of life. B for basic. C, or part 3, cells come from existing cells. Now, one cell gives life to another cell. All right, so you'll see that I wrote down my notes to help me remember the ABCs of cell theory. I highlighted or put circles around the A, B, and C, all basic and cells. And now we are going to talk about, well, how did this cell theory come together? So here's a timeline. The first scientist we'll talk about is Robert Hooke, way back in the 1600s. So he actually got himself some cork. It's the kind of cork that you would use to stop up bottles. If you think about way back then, they didn't have plastic, so of course they're using things like cork to seal up bottles. So he had a lot of it laying around. He cut it into a thin piece. He looked under a microscope, and he could see it has these itty bitty little blocks in there. He called them cells because it looks like he was looking at a map of a monastery with lots of little cells or bedrooms there. The next guy is Anton van Leeuwenhoek. He was the first guy to see living cells, little bacteria, and they moved around in front of him. And so he called them animalcules. And the fun fact is that he used the bacteria from his teeth to look at. Okay. Oh, this is his microscope. You had to make a separate microscope for each sample. Here's a picture of him holding it up to his eyeball and looking through it. There's like a candle or something behind it. Okay, so 150 years later, 1838, we've got Matthias Schleiden. He's German, and he was a botanist, and he loved all his plants. And he realized that plants are made of cells and cell walls. He used a compound microscope. That's a microscope that has 2 lenses, so you can actually look up a lot closer. And you'll see here's like this rectangle shape. That is the shape of a plant cell. He lived in right around the same time. This guy, Theodor Schwann, he studied animals. So I remember Schwann studied animals because Schwann sounds like swan. So he studied animals, and he, after lots and lots of observations, he decided that all animals are made of cells, also using a compound microscope. So here are some pictures of the different cells, different kinds of cells that are inside of animals. So you put Schwann together with Schleiden, you get parts of the cell theory, that all living things are made of cells. Then we get to, about 20 years later, Rudolf Virchow and Robert Remak. He was German, and he made the statement that all cells come from existing cells.
This is important because to that point, most people thought that things could come from non-living things, like maggots could come from rotting meat, and they just appeared. It's called spontaneous generation.
Robert Remak, also in a different place, a different time, made a similar discovery based on lots of evidence. Virchow gets the credit. I'm not sure why we study Virchow and not Remak, since now we know. Use this to fill in your timeline.